All right, guys. We have. I mean, it's been a while since we've done one of these. So, welcome. This is basically the AJ Rivera show. I'm just a guest.
Uh,
So, AJ, welcome again, man. Appreciate your time tonight. Love
Thank you
it.
for having me.
We're about a week away from the big one, man. How's things?
Stressful. It's going good though. I'm excited. I'm excited about the kind of quality fights that that we'll have. There'll be some real action packed, entertaining fights that night. Um, so it'll be worth it when I'm finally seeing the art that's done.
The masterpiece, man. The last one, man, it was flawless. I'm telling you, flawless. Uh,
Hey,
Smaller venue. I mean, I don't know, not so much smaller venue. I mean, obviously, but Western Town
it's
Hall is nice.
it. Oh yeah, no, it's a really nice venue. Um, if anything, the fans win even more us going to this venue. So we lose more and the fans gain more because at the Palladium we fit 2,000 people in there.
Yeah,
Here we fit 800, but it's more exclusive. There's not a like I went when we scoped it out at first. You could be sitting in the furthest place of that arena and you'll have a great seat. Like
yeah,
the
no
fans
doubt.
don't lose at all. There's not one bad seat in the house. Like we could have sold general admission as ringside. It's 800 people. It's small, but it's nice.
Real
So
nice.
it'll be loud in there.
The
It'll be
balconies too are
packed.
nice.
That's what I'm saying. The balcony seats are the general admission, and they're gonna have probably some of the best seats in the house because
Yeah.
they're literally like looking at the ring, like right above.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
They're gonna be on top of the ring, basically.
Yep. So, did you catch any of the action, or did what happened in Colombia with Joey Edmonds? Have you seen any footage or anything? I know
No
he won.
footage. Joey won. Joey won by knockout. Popeye won by knockout. They both went over there and handled business.
I need to see the Popeye knockout, man. I seen footage, I think, of Joey's. But what happened in the Popeye fight?
I don't know, I could probably get some footage. I know. I think it was. I don't remember if it was first or second round, but Popeye just doing what Popeye does.
Love it. I seen clips of him riding a bike with Joey, I think, but they were running around down there. That must have been a blast for those guys.
Yeah, no, they had a great time. It was a really great experience. I talked to Joey when we added him to the card, and I was bringing him tickets. We talked a little bit about him. It was a whole new world out there. He said
He is the
was
man.
so different. It's crazy. It makes you kind of appreciate what we have over here a little bit because like everyone over there is just trying to get a dollar. Like
Yeah.
you'll be eating food at a restaurant, someone's gonna come up to you and be like, "Hey, you need a massage?" Like anything for just some money.
Yeah. So what was the deal now? Pay-per-view. I know they had a gig going with that, and I thought that was a great idea. Do you think that'd be something you could get into?
Oh
as you
yeah,
guys
no,
grow the company?
it's something that we'd definitely get into. I just right now I'm all about giving an appetizer, a taste for the
Yeah.
fans. So we allow like you to live stream. We'll have Worcester Sports Journal, they'll live stream.
I saw Tiffany
We're all
tonight.
about giving, yeah, we're all about giving fans a taste of what they're missing out. Because then eventually there will be a time where we're gonna shut it down and it's gonna be pay-per-view.
Yeah. Awesome. I love the idea, man. I wish it was. I know they had some issue, but I think we're gonna have Nate on the show.
But I'm a fan of almost like the old school boxing way. Like there used to be a time period where you could flip through the channels. There'd be like Tuesday night fights or Thursday night fights, Friday night fights, Saturday. On ESPN, ABC, Fox. So like I'm a fan because I also feel like boxing needs that new generation of fans coming up. Not that you are old or my dad's old or those guys are old, but that fan base when they're gone,
Yeah.
besides people who are the fighters, like, you need that new crop coming in, and sometimes it just takes a flipping on the channel and going through and, oh shoot, who are these guys?
Yep.
Actually, believe it or not, that's how so I don't really know much about MMA. I don't really watch MMA, but a few years back, that's how I became a fan of John Jones. Just bored, nothing on TV, flipping through the channels. All of a sudden, there was this badass dude just throwing bows, and I'm like, oh shit, he's badass.
He's got arguments for the best ever. People will argue that.
And I like them. So, when there is certain guys on, I'll watch now. Jorge Masvidal is one of them.
I love.
But if UFC always had everything on pay-per-view or Showtime, I wouldn't have probably even seen those guys fight.
I was watching a special Kimbo special, obviously with and that's where Masvidal started pretty much with Kimbo in the backyards. That was what are they gonna be involved in there though, huh? Just the backyard of people just killing each other. Phenomenal. I love Kimbo.
I'm gonna eventually cross over and do both, alternate.
You gotta keep it open, right?
We'll do boxing and MMA.
I love it. I absolutely love it, man. That Boston Sports too. That their fighting show they got going on, Rough and Rowdy, I think it's called. That's pretty awesome too, man. It's like just backyard people fighting. Boston Sports. They have.
Okay.
They have their own pay-per-view, everything, but it's kind of cool. Check it out, man. I know they had like 20 fights on one card. It's just fighting, but there's a following. It's better than wrestling and all that stuff too. But these guys bleed and they get, you know what I mean? Love it. So I also seen, which is kind of funny, I want to throw a shout out to, somebody sent me a clip. I'll send it to you after the show. Chuck Shearns versus the Irish Express. Someone made a graphic of that fight versus each other, right? I just want to throw that out there because I thought it was awesome. Hilarious. And the guy that got it sent to him bought it. I guess it was supposed to be a joke, but let's just put that out there because that would be phenomenal. I mean,
honestly, I think I don't know. I think Chuck gives Fitzy a run for his money. Fitzy's been out the game for a long time.
This is great. I have to say now, because it's in text message, you can't beat that. I got to be honest. I said I think Fitzy would probably crush Chuck. I have to say that. He fought Roberto Duran. I'm just saying.
Nah, I know. I'm just best like the boxing in me. Obviously, Fitzy's just too. There's certain experience levels that it's like riding a bike, his experience level is, Fitzy would do good, but I like to mix with I like to mix with Fitzy, so I'm going Chuck. I'm going Chuck last round knockout and 30 seconds left in the round because Fitzy's fat now and we'll gas out. Fitzy's fat now and we'll gas out.
That is awesome. I already, like I said, it's in text. I think.
Hey, it's funny that you mentioned that. I had made a joke. I was hanging out. This is probably like right before COVID hit. Me, my dad, a lot of So yeah, it was around the time right before COVID hit. It was me, my dad, and all like the local like New England like stars. Like Peter Manfredo was there.
Yeah.
Roland Estrada, who's Jason Estrada's dad, he was there. Mickey Ward was there. It was like kind of like a reunion. It was like before Golden Gloves fights.
Yeah.
So right before the Golden Gloves, they had all like the New England legends. Marlon Starling was there and stuff like that. And me and Mickey were hanging out like in the corner of the room. And I had said, come on, man, like, I can get you back in there. And I'm trying to egg him on. And I'm like, I'll go get a cab driver, like, and you can fight a cab driver, And he's like, man, the way I'm feeling these days, he's like, you'll have to get somebody with a toe tag, like a guy who's already dead. And I was dying, but I had said, but wouldn't it be cool if we got all the like old New England stars back in the ring once more, even if we got to put headgears on them.
No doubt.
Like, it'd be dope. It'd be dope. You know, Fitzy, Rashad, my dad. We can even get Rocky in there. Ray Oliveira, Peter Manfredo, Mickey Ward, Vinny Paz.
You could fill the DCU. You would fill the DCU with that.
It'd be nice, you know. But,
absolutely.
And it's crazy because some of the old timers are like, "Yeah, I'm with it still." Like I'm with it, and then some of them are like, "You are out of your mind. Like you can't even pay me enough to even think about it."
I think it has to be a co-main event, and Chuck and Fitzy has to be the main event. That would phenomenal.
Hey, I don't know. Chuck and Fitzy might have to go co-main because I would like to see Rashad and Bobby.
Oh my God. I don't know. Rashad can't be considered retired. I don't know if he's.
Man, that guy is so freakishly athletic that he swears he's getting old and he can't do it anymore. I'm like, dude.
Yeah.
The God-given ability that you had, we were just talking. We shit talk to each other every once in a while through text and stuff. And I had told him about one time when we were like, I was an amateur still. His brother Owen was an amateur still. Kyrie was an amateur still. And Pepper, Kendrick Ball was an amateur still. Rashad was a pro. And Daniel was training all of us at the time. You know, like Kendrick was training all of us too, but Daniel used to do like a lot of like strength and conditioning, like physical, like hard work. And it was a Saturday morning at QCC track. Daniel had us there nice and early, running laps, doing sprints. And we were doing an exercise where we would do like a full mile, but then after the mile, or it was like a half a mile, but then after the half a mile, we would sprint around the track and then have to do another half a mile. And then after that half a mile, sprint again. So when it was time for the sprint, I remember vividly, because this was when I was like, wow, what can't this guy do? I take off in a sprint, boom, quick, nice little 15, 20 yard, like zoom pass. All of a sudden, as I'm sprinting, I hear heavy ass, like heavy ass footsteps just getting louder, coming closer to me, getting closer to me. And then all of a sudden, fucking flies right by me. Rashad. Wasn't Kyrie, wasn't Owen, wasn't Pepper. It was Rashad. Out of all people, it was Rashad. Flew past me. He's like a buck, like not a buck, like 275 at the time, 280 at the time. Huge. Just like once he got going, he was like, took off. I was like, holy shit. This dude just passed me?
Yeah.
Like I had him dusted like in the first at least 15, 20 yards. And all of a sudden he just boom. And I just realized like, yo, his feet are like just as fast as his hand. Like what can he do? He can play basketball, football, box.
Yeah.
He's strong as shit. Like I've seen him manhandle grown ass men.
I don't know how you, like I said before on the show, I don't even know how you would hurt him. I don't even know. I've never even.
Unless you got some metal with you, you can't. You can't.
Yeah, no doubt.
You can't. Doubt. There's certain freak specimens that just get born with certain freak genetics, and he's one of those.
Yeah. No doubt.
For a guy that big to be able to move as fast as he can with his feet, with his hands, like he's hemmed me up a couple times, like messing around or whatever, and like all of a sudden, whoop, grab me, and now I'm in his grasp. And like once he has you in his grasp too, it's not like he's just quick. He's strong. Like he's done lifted me, had me like both feet off the floor. Like he's a big, strong dude.
Yep. No doubt. But get him back in the ring. Let's see it one more time.
I would love to. He got it. I don't know. He's just he convinced himself he's too old and he don't got it no more. Man. But he's got it. He's playing games.
We want to see it. You're the matchmaker. We're putting the card together. That's it.
So we got to sign a petition. I think if we all put a battery in his back, it can't just be me. He got to hear it. Like he can't like live it down. Everywhere he goes, there has to be someone being like, "Hey, you coming back? You coming back?" And then hopefully he'll eventually get tired of hearing "Am I coming back?" and want to do one last hurrah.
I mean, You got the inside track on this one. You got to get your dad back in there, man. Golden Boy's looking for it again, I think. So,
man, Golden Boy didn't want the smoke in 2006.
He
He
did
doesn't want it. He doesn't want it in 2001 either.
No,
honestly, man, it's no shade. You know, it's a business. He's looking for a huge payday. He's looking for a big payday. He's bored.
Of course.
He's bored. He's not really looking for anyone that's going to try. And here's the thing: if it's not like another, like, for example, like I hadn't heard his name being thrown around with Canelo or whatever, but like I could see him even fighting like a Jake Paul or Logan Paul. Like it's for money at this point.
Yeah.
He's not looking up to prove nothing. He's already what he's accomplished in the sport. You can't take it away from him. You know, De La Hoya is a Hall of Fame fighter, first ballot. So he has nothing to prove to himself or to us or to anyone else.
Yeah.
It's at this point, it's just like, hey, let me try to make a $50 to $100 million paycheck, and you know, shit, I would do the same thing.
Yeah, no doubt. You know, it was really
as much
cool,
as the fans would want to see it.
Yeah, no doubt. It was really cool. Nate, I believe he's in Puerto Rico. He was in Puerto Rico, but did you see the Puerto Rican Boxing Hall of Fame with your dad up there? It was pretty cool. That was pretty cool.
They actually have a date. They actually have a day for him out there.
Really?
It's not like a day where like people don't go to work. People still go to work, but there's a day like when my dad moved up in weight and he won his third world championship, he became one of the few fighters, Puerto Rican fighters, to have 3 world championships and be in 2 different weight classes. So I remember vividly, this was like a dope surprise. So it was coincidentally around my birthday. My birthday is June 2nd. We went that weekend. So it was like a birthday / boxing trip. As soon as we get there, mad media, mad fans. I don't even think my dad knew it was going to be like this. And sure enough, who do they have present my dad with that belt? Felix Trinidad, the greatest Puerto Rican fighter, you know.
Yeah.
So it's like it don't get better than Tito giving you like that's passing of the torch right there, literally, you know.
Yeah.
So he's at the airport. He gives my dad. My dad didn't have the belt at all up until that point.
Oh man, that's awesome.
They had him present my dad with the belt. It was dope. And then we got in these Jeeps, the ones with no doors and stuff like that, and like they drove us around the island, where like you had like just people outside on their porches and their front on the street with signs, yelling, cheering. Huge parade. It was like an all-day parade. It was nuts. They gave him the key to the island. It was dope. I was 13 years old.
Good shit, man. That's a solid memory there.
Yeah, it was dope. Yeah. So yeah, no, he's the I don't want to say the wrong number. I want to say the late 20s. I'll go with late 20s, early 30s for Puerto Rican world champions. Like he's the 28th or 30th, the 31st world champion, Puerto Rican world champion.
That's awesome, man.
Actually, another cool tribute when Miguel Cotto fought for his first world championship on his boxing trunks. He had all the great Puerto Rican champions on his trunks, their pictures. And on TV, you could see my dad's picture. It was dope, awesome. You know. It was a dope tribute because like when he won the world championship, he was like, you know, these are all the guys that came before me. You know, great fighters from my island. And he goes, and now I can officially add myself to these trunks. You know, it was dope.
That's phenomenal, man. Great memory. So I think it's going to be Saturday the 18th. We're going to see. I mean, we've talked a lot about Carlos and Wilfredo. I can't wait to see the crowd. I'm anxious to see. Yeah. I know I asked those guys at the press conference too. The weigh-in this Friday.
Yeah.
Same place?
Well, not this Friday, because this Friday's in like 2 days.
Yeah, next Friday.
Yeah. No, this Friday's tomorrow. My day's all messed up. Yeah, next Friday, yeah.
That was a great venue, too, for the press conference. I wish more people were there. Wilfredo showed up late in style.
I'm excited, too. For, like, any new fans and stuff like that because a lot of those guys are returning. So, like, we have some new. Like, Oscar's never fought for me before, but all those other guys have fought for me before. So you're now getting to see what, like, I each show I like shuffle through guys, but like these guys have fought for me before. So like if you're a new guy coming onto RPE, you saw the last crop of guys. Now you're gonna see it's a new crop for you, but I know what that new crop brings. Like you're gonna see some guys who can fight.
I love it. Who's Joey fighting?
Joey is fighting a Brazilian jiu-jitsu champion.
All right.
By the name of Weywerton Silveira Silva. So
should be an interesting one.
It should be an interesting one.
He should be an interesting one.
I just told them don't put Joey in no locks. Don't be trying to armbar Joey. Just punches only.
Yeah. Awesome. Bobby, who's he fighting?
Bobby is fighting a guy named David Roan. He's from Virginia. He's a tough dude.
Yeah.
Southpaw. Bobby's first southpaw.
All right. Interesting.
As a pro, not as an amateur. His first southpaw as a pro. So it'll be interesting. It's gonna bring out. He's gonna have to fight different, just off of the stances alone. He's gonna have to fight different this fight than he did his last fight because of where the jab is coming from a different place. You know, his strong hand's coming from a different place. His movements are gonna be completely different than what you're used to. So I think Bobby will rise to the occasion. I think it's gonna bring out, it's gonna force him to bring out a skill set that people haven't seen yet.
I like it. How's his training going?
Good. He just got back. I just picked up him and Jermaine, I think it was like last week from Cali. You know, he had a good training camp in Cali. He's in shape. I just did some mitts with him maybe like 4 days ago or so. He looks good, you know, he looks sharp. He's ready to perform, you know. It's his second hometown. That's where a majority of the Harris family is from, is in Webster. So
let's see who shows out. He had a crowd in Webster, that's for sure. So I'm sure they'll be in Webster. I love it.
Oh yeah.
Love it. So any word on fight for Jermaine?
So no, as far as I know, I mean, when you're at that like 10, almost 12 round level, you don't fight as often anyway. Yeah. But I mean, I think right now it's just kind of like a waiting game for. He's in shape. He's in fight shape. I've seen him. He looks good. Looks phenomenal.
He's a hell of a businessman. I know he's on.
He keeps himself busy. Already. He keeps himself physically busy and mentally busy, and he's always on work. I love his work ethic. That's a special kid. But you know, I'm sure he'll have something soon.
Awesome. The Kendrick Ball fight, it didn't go our way. I want to see him come back better. I think everybody does.
Yeah, I think in boxing sometimes certain things are needed in order for like wake up calls or just to kind of get hungry again, because it's easy to get lost in the sauce in the sport. Of course, you know. Of course. It's so hard. Like Oscar De La Hoya, there was a quote from a few years back. Somebody had like asked him like, you know, about you know, fighters aging or fighters not being as hungry or whatever. And he had made a comment. He had said it's hard to get up at 5 a.m. when you're waking up in silk sheets. Right. And it's true. If you think about all these great world champions, right, before they finally hit big time, like you got Manny Pacquiao coming from the trenches of the Philippines. Like that's a third world country. You know, you got Roberto Duran coming from the trenches of Panama. Like, you know, Ali, he came up in like the racism era and he's from the down south. You know, they like had hard lives and they never wanted to go back to. But then when things got sweet for them, training wasn't as disciplined and as, you know, as uncomfortable as it should have been, because now you're living comfortable. Right. You know, even I think Gervonta Davis had a few of those wake up calls, and Floyd kind of had to wake him up like, hey, listen, dude, you know, you're gonna sell yourself short. Look at Adrian Broner. He's got a lot of money issues right now because he sold himself short. You know, he got a few fights where he's making a couple million, 2 million, 3 million. he's living large, he's getting fat, he's blowing up to 180, he fights at 35, and then he thinks he's good, because he's, you should be good when you're making that kind of money. But then you realize,
did he lose that fight?
Who, Adrian?
No, Javante.
No, Javante won. So he was losing. I think he gave him some. At the first 2 rounds he lost, and it was a great fight. I agreed with the 115-113 judge, so I had Javante by 2 rounds. I think when a lot of fans, when you set the bar so high and you don't look as good as we're used to seeing you look, they misconstrue that with he lost. No, he didn't lose. He still won. He looked like he fought another great fighter that night.
Right.
We're human. You bleed the same blood. You breathe the same. Floyd's had some of those fights. There's people out there who have called robbery on a couple Floyd fights where it's like, Floyd really beat Miguel Cotto. The reason why a lot of people say Miguel Cotto won is because we're not used to seeing Floyd bleeding out of his mouth and his nose.
Yeah.
Cotto just held his own like a great fighter does.
Yeah.
But it's not like Floyd lost. Same thing with the Mandana fight. Oh, he lost. No, he just gave Floyd a good, tough fight. So I think it's the same thing. A lot of people are crying robbery, and I don't think Cruz got robbed. I think he just put up a great fight against a phenomenal fighter that we're not used to. I mean, Gervonta Davis, only one person's been the distance with him. He's literally annihilated everyone that he's been in the ring with. Then you get one fight where he looked great, but he also looked regular because he was in there with another great fighter. See, that's what happens when you actually test yourself, when you're not picking C-level fighters and B-level fighters, when you're actually going in there with other top elite athletes.
Yep.
You come to find out your favorite fighter may not be as invincible as you think. I mean, and on top of that, he fought with one hand from the 5th round on.
Yeah, that's what they said. They keep showing that graphic of him on the ground with his hands. I mean,
next day, I did see a picture of his hand the next day. His he was like, it was swollen. He was definitely, and maybe that could have been the difference maker, maybe not, but there was no robbery there, but certain things need to happen, and I think honestly, some of Tank's old mistakes about like blowing up in between fights, missing weights, getting stripped of the title, I think those mistakes prepared him, because Tank doesn't even drink anymore. Like he used to drink and get like hammered in between fights, so he doesn't even drink anymore. But I think those fights prepared him for this fight, because if he was in any less shape than what he was in, I wouldn't be surprised if he peed blood like the next day. I mean, those body shots from round 1 to this dude, I mean, he even hit Tank behind the back sometimes. Like, Cruz was really, really swinging for the fences, and he was hammering that body. So, fair fight, 115-113.
I dig it. Tommy Fury backed out of his fight, which was kind of weird.
Yeah.
This late after all that shit talk, but I don't know. We'll see another Paul fight, Paul Woodley too. I don't know. They said Woodley, I think, had him knocked out at one point. I think they were both knocked out at one point, but I don't know. I'll watch it.
I don't know. I don't really think he was training. I think he says he was training because it sounds good for all the fans who are like, he's fighting Woodley again. But it sounds good. It sounds spicy if he's like, oh no, I've been training this whole time. Like, I've been ready.
Yeah. Well, AJ, we can wrap it up. I appreciate you coming back on tonight.
No problem. No problem.
We got we're gonna have a few of the guys on this week. I haven't, but leading up to the show all week, I'd like to do them every single night.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, this is. I think I just want to say. So normally at the Palladium, I'm used to doing like 12 fights and stuff like that. It ends up being like a long night. And, sometimes certain fights, we just got to speed it up. And, there's some early knockouts and whatnot. But I'm telling you, these 8 fights that we have, I wouldn't be surprised if there's no first round knockouts. I mean, I can't speak for the big guys, for Joey, and like, because anyone that's a cruiserweight and above, you can get touched and go to bed. I mean,
right.
when you're that big, when you're that big, any punch could put someone to bed quick. But for everyone else on the card, I think most of those fights are going the distance. I'm excited. I'm really excited. Castro TG, he's got a good fight.
I was just gonna say, dude,
he's fighting a tough veteran. That listen, records don't make fights. Styles do. Experience does. You know, that kid's experience, that guy's tough as they come. He just fought his last fight. He just fought a former world champion. He went the distance. He fought DeMarcus Chop Corley his last fight. So like,
right.
Yeah. So this guy is a dog. That's gonna be a great test for Castro. That's gonna be like, okay, that's gonna tell him where he stands amongst the journeymen and the contenders, where he falls into place, how he performs. Bobby's only 3-0. His opponent's got 10 fights. And not only does he have 10 pro boxing fights, he's also an MMA fighter. So he does both. His fight is a southpaw. He's gonna bring out the best in Bobby. Oscar Bonilla and Seth Bassler, that's gonna be a great fight. Seth always comes to bang. He's been training really hard. He was just telling me he had just gotten back from like a 5-mile run. He did it in like 30 minutes or so. He's in top shape. Oscar's going to be in top shape. He has something to prove. He says something to fight for. I don't know if you saw the article today, the story that they wrote on Oscar.
Yeah.
Obviously the main event's the main event. We already know what they bring to the table, but this is going to be real exciting, and it's going to set up what we have planned for 2022. It's going to be this is going to be like the small little appetizer, which is going to be like, wow, this show was great. And we're going to use this to set up what we do next.
Love it. Absolutely love it, man. I know
Popeye's going to be in the building. He's the commentator of the night.
I mean, he is just a phenomenal aura about this kid. I
charisma.
My own podcast. I never watch him, and the one with him, man, I've watched like 2 or 3 times. He's just such a energy, man. He's like a ball.
The charisma, it's unteachable.
Yep.
He's got the skills to back it up in the ring, but he's genuinely a good guy. Like what you see, it's not an act. That's him all the time.
Yep.
That's him, and he's for the people. Like, he might really like be walking down the street, see a kid, and like just talk to him or give him some tips or that's just who he is. He drove down from Hartford to give out backpacks to kids in our community.
Unreal. With Joey too. Shout out to Joey.
Joey was there too. They were the only 2 fighters there.
Yep.
So
good shit, man. Good people, good shit. I know that it's gonna be a phenomenal night. We're getting close, man. It's like Christmas. I mean, it actually is Christmas.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, it's gonna be early Christmas gifts are gonna be handed out that night.
Fantastic. I hope I mean, as a fan, I want to see a first round knockout, but you always,
see me, I like them. I like them to speed up the night sometimes, but for me, I love the back and forth wars. I'm not giving up. You're not giving up. We're gonna see pressure burst pipes, and we're gonna see whose pipe gets bursted.
I know. Are you even allowed to give a prediction? I'd ask you for a Wilfredo Carlos prediction right now.
So I'm allowed to give predictions. See, it's just the reason why it's a hard prediction. The reason why that's a hard prediction is because it depends on which version of each one shows up. So, for example, I think when Wilfredo is comfortable in a rhythm and he's slipping side to side and he's throwing punches and bunches and not stopping and wearing you down, that's his best style. He's going to beat a lot of people that way. And I think when Carlos is not sitting there banging with you, because that's not Carlos's style. I think when Carlos is boxing, looking pretty, slipping, moving, ducking, weaving, out jabbing you, out speeding you, I think that's Carlos's best style. And a lot of times he could beat people with that style. So if they fight to their styles, it's a tough fight. But if they both do what they did last time, it's still a tough fight because their hearts are that equal. Their styles are completely different. You got one guy who's a nice, smooth inside fighter, and then you got one guy who's a boxer puncher. But their hearts, they both got that Puerto Rican heart.
Yeah. There's a common denominator here with all this. So
yeah. So I don't even know. I don't even know what to expect. I don't know if, I could be thinking like, for example, I could be thinking the fight's going to be just as tough as the last one. And it could be, I'm not saying it will be, but it could be boring. Carlos could decide, hey, I'm going to make this fight easier for myself and I'm not going to bang with Wilfredo. I'm just going to hit and move. And then the fight be boring and, he tries to score points.
Yeah.
Or Wilfredo could be like, you know what? Wilfredo could try to switch it up and be like, you know what? I'm not going to be the pressure fighter that they're used to me seeing. I'm going to box and make him come to me. And the fight could be completely different. So that's just rematches are always hard to predict.
Yeah.
The first fights are easier to predict, but the rematch, because they both have seen each other, those are always hard to predict. Like, I mean, come on. Who thought in the second fight, not the third fight, because I think in the third fight, we kind of knew that would happen. But in the second fight, who would have thought Fury would have knocked out Deontay Wilder? We didn't see that, We didn't see that coming.
Yeah.
In the first fight, we would have said, like, oh, somebody's getting knocked out. But in the second fight, you wouldn't have thought that. So, it's rematches are hard to predict, man. They both seen each other. They both kind of know their tendencies. So it's gonna be who wants it more that night. That's what it's gonna come down to.
I have to
say, who wants to leave with the belt?
I don't know. Yeah. Uh-oh.
It's tough.
It is tough.
Oh, you in? I can see you now.
I'm in, yeah.
So I mean, I could tell you. I think Joey wins. I could tell you that. I could. I think everyone else does well. I don't know. I don't know this main event. I got a question mark over.
I say
I genuinely don't know. I just know that the belt.
It could end up in a draw.
I just know that the belt better not. Yeah, I just know that this belt better not go home with me again. I'm sick of having this belt.
Yeah, you gotta add a stipulation. If it's a draw, they're gonna go just until
one more round. Go for a 7th round.
Yep.
No, you know what? You know what? If this fight ends in another draw, I'm just giving you the belt. You're the podcast champion, so
I'm taking it.
Home with.
I'm taking
you're going home with the belt.
Like your dad, I'll put it right on that wall.
There you go. Right over there.
Fantastic. Yep. So you guys are here for it.
Somebody's gonna be crowned the champion, and it's gonna be Mike, the podcast champion.
I'm in all day long, man. That would be an honor.
So I'm gonna tell Wilfredo and Carlos at the weigh-in. I'm like, listen, if none of y'all win this fight, Mike's the champion.
Absolutely.
You gotta get the belt. If you want a chance to fight for it again, you gotta get it from him. That means you gotta get in the ring next time, Mike.
Look, I have no problem with that. I still got it, man. I'm no spring chicken, but I don't know. That'd be scary with these dudes.
I mean, you'll have a little bit of a weight advantage, though.
No doubt. I mean, I'm at 210 right now. I'm comfortably after Thanksgiving. That's not too bad.
So we'll tell them, listen, the fight won't be at 140. We'll do a catch weight. You're gonna have to fight at 200.
I can meet him probably at 190.
190. All right.
190.
All right. So if Carlos and Wilfredo, if you are watching this and you guys get another draw, Mike's the champion. And in order to get this belt, you got to go to 190 to fight him.
We kept talking about rice and beans at the press conference, I think. So That's a lot.
They're both gonna have to be sharing the rice and beans to get to that weight.
Oh man. So
they're
Friday,
gonna have to enjoy Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's.
Yeah, we could do that, man. Right after New Year's, after this fight. Wilfredo heals in a week. He'll be ready. He's funny, man.
Yeah. They both looked pretty good right after because they did interviews like right after.
Yeah. Yeah. So I seen Tiffany tonight. Congrats to her. She just took a new position with the district attorney or something like that.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, she put a post out today. So congratulations to her and what's the News Journal. She's still going to keep going with sports. So, but man, 1 week away. I'm going to talk to you again next week at some point. And
okay.
I think we're going to bring a couple of the guys on too. Maybe we can get down.
Couple of the guys have already hinted to me to have the popcorn ready at the weigh-in. So I'm excited to see what the weigh-in brings.
Love it. Absolutely.
They didn't give me details, but I had a couple guys reach out to me and say, "Hey, have the popcorn ready at the weigh-in."
Love it. Love it.
I said, "Okay, it's ready, but don't do nothing stupid."
Yeah. Shamrock Sports will be there. You know that. I was first there. I popped in real early at that one, but I love it too, man. But it'll be a good time. AJ,
that was just a rough day.
Yeah,
that was a rough day. It was like a working day. Everyone comes from all over the place. It's late at night, so I kind of had a feeling the press conference wasn't going to be as packed as they normally are.
The weather sucked too, wasn't it?
Yeah, and the weather sucked. But I'm hoping for the next show with it being bigger and stuff like that. Like we go even bigger on that one.
No doubt. This is the appetizer, like you said. Thank you, my man. Hey, thank you for coming on. We're going to talk soon. We're 1 week away, guys, December 18th. I keep calling it the Warren Webster. It's, I mean,
that's what it's going to be.
I don't have tickets yet. I'd run quick because there ain't going to be nothing left by the middle of this week, I'd say. So don't miss out. Everybody.
And don't stress your favorite fighters out the week of their fight. You have all the opportunity in the world to get the tickets now. Leading up to the fight, they're worried about their weight. They're worried about their game plan. Leave them alone.
Yeah. They don't need the stress either. So get it done, guys. They don't need the stress.
They don't need to be meeting you the day before the fight to get you some tickets. Get them now. Tomorrow's Friday. It's payday.
Yep. Go get it. AJ, thank you again, my man. We'll talk soon.
All right. Take it easy. Have a good night.
Have a good night, guys.